Hi, Prince and Tiger. So today's video lesson is going to be a little bit tougher than most of our video lessons have been in the past, but we're going to just start by reviewing our square and cubes roots before we get to that. So make sure you're paying really close attention throughout the video. The first question is, what is the square root of 25? Square root means what number multiplied by itself twice gets you 25? The answer is 5. So then what is the square root of 36? 6, because 6 times 6 equals 36. Now getting to cubed roots, this little 3 tells you that it means a cubed root, which means what number multiplied by itself 3 times gets you to 27. The correct answer is 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Try on your own. What is the cubed root of 125? The correct answer is 5. Because 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125. All right, so now we're going to fill in our blanks. So it said our objective is we can use a calculator, put calculator in that first blank, in order to help us order rational and irrational numbers. I don't want to write out the whole thing, but the first blank is calculator, then we have rational and irrational numbers. The first thing that we will do is convert, so put convert all numbers to decimals. Ignore those first two blanks, just write decimals in the last blank. All right, so let's give this a try. We're trying to order them, and so the first thing that we have to do is convert them to decimals so that we can order them. We are going to use our calculator to help us with this. So the numbers that we are ordering are the square root of 17, 9 halves, 4.7, d cubed root of 64, and e the square root of 26. Before I use my calculator, I'm going to look through and see if there are any of these that I can do without a calculator. First of all, we already have c, which is in decimal form, so we can just leave it like that. So 4.7 is already ready to be ordered. But I look through, and none of the other ones are ready to be compared to 4 and 7/10. All right, so now I'm going to say, okay, which of these square roots can I solve? Is 17 a perfect square? No, so I can't do it. Is 26 a perfect square? No, so I can't do it yet. What about the cubed root of 64? Is 64 a perfect cube? Yes, it is, and the cubed root of 64 equals 4. So now we have another number that is ready to be ordered. All right, now for my square roots, I am going to just plug them into my calculator to get an estimate of what they could be. So I'm going to turn it on and type in square root right here of 17. So then type in 17 and then type in your close parentheses and then enter. So it says the square root of 17 equals 4.123. I just want to take it up to the 10th place, so I'll just do 4.12. So now I have another number that is ready to be ordered. I'll do the same thing with my square root of 26. You plug in square root of 26, close parentheses, equals 5.099. I'm going to look at my number after 9 and decide whether to round up or round down. It's a 9, so I'm going to round up. So I'll just make this 5.1 because it's really close to 5.1. If you put 5.09, that would be close as well, so that would be fine, but it's always better to round when we can. And lastly, we have 9/2. How can I solve 9/2? What does this fraction bar mean? Yeah, it means division. So I can solve this by just doing 9 divided by 2. And you will get 4.5. So now we have our final number ready to be ordered. So now we're comparing the numbers that are boxed in blue. Which of these numbers is the smallest? My smallest number is going to be 4 because these three numbers are 4 and a little more. This is 4 and 12/100ths. This is 4 and 5/10ths. This is 4 and 7/10ths. So first we have 4. This one over here has 5 ones. So this one is going to be our biggest. So now how can we order the numbers in between? I have 3 numbers in between. 4 and 12/100ths, 4 and 5/10ths, and 4 and 7/10ths. The way that you order numbers is that you look to the biggest place value first. So our biggest place value is the tens place. They all have the same ones place, so now we want to look at our tens. So our smallest tens place is 4 and 12/100ths. Then we have 4 and 5/10ths. Then we have 4 and 7/10ths. So in the correct order, we have 4, 4 and 12/100ths, 4 and 5/10ths, 4 and 7/10ths, 5 and 1/10. But now the last thing we need to do is go back and substitute the way that the numbers were originally written. So this was written as the cubed root of 64. 4 and 12/10ths was written as the square root of 17. 4 and 5/10ths was written as 9/2. 4 and 7/10ths was written just like that, and 5 and 1/10 was written as the square root of 26. I know this is pretty challenging, so we're going to do the next one together as well before I release you guys onto independent practice. All right, so now we are ordering these numbers. Again, I'm going to look through and see which numbers are already ready to be ordered or which numbers can I do without a calculator. So first, I have my 4 and 4/10ths, which is ready to be ordered. Is 12 a perfect square? Nope, so we'll need a calculator for that one. 3 and 3/4, we need a divide, so we need a calculator. Is 17 a perfect square? Nope, so we need a calculator for that one. What about this number pi? What does pi equal approximately? Pi is a number that goes on and on forever, but it can equal approximately 3.14. So you don't need a calculator for that one. This type of calculator, if you plug in pi, it will just say it equals pi. If you have the darker calculator, you can plug in pi and then the equal sign, and it'll give you 3.14. All right, so now we have 2 numbers that are ready to be ordered, and we need to convert the rest. Let's start with our square roots. Square root of 12, we'll use our calculator, plug in square root 12, close parentheses. You'll get this number, 3.46. So 3.46 will be our approximation for 12, square root of 12. We'll do the same thing for square root of 17. Try it on your own. You should have gotten 4.12. So now we have this number. We have this number. And then we have 3 and 3/4. All right, 3 and 3/4 is a little bit trickier because we have a fraction again, but not all of my number is in a fraction. So we're going to solve our fraction on the calculator. So we'll do 3 divided by 4. And we get 0 and 75/100ths. So 3/4 equals 0 and 75/100ths. But we also have 3 ones. So I'm going to substitute my 0 for a 3 to represent that we have 3 and 3/4, or 3 and 75/100ths. So this is our last number to be ordered. Okay, so now we need to order these numbers. So we have 3 numbers that start with 3 and 2 numbers that start with 4. So because this means that we have 4 ones and this means that we have 3 ones, the ones with 3 ones are going to be smaller. So out of these 3 numbers, which is the smallest? It's going to be 3 and 14 hundredths because you have that 1 in that tens place value versus a 4 or a 7. So there's our smallest, 3 and 14 hundredths. Then we have which one? 3 and 46 hundredths. Then we have our last one with 3 and 75 hundredths. Now we have our 4s. Which one of these is smaller? It's going to be this one because of the 1 in the tens place value versus the 4. So now we have 4 and 12 hundredths and 4 and 4 tenths. Last thing that we do is we go in and we substitute back in the original number. So here is pi. 3 and 46 hundredths was an approximation for the square root of 12. 3 and 75 hundredths was 3 and 3/4. And then this one was square root of 17. So there are numbers in order from least to greatest. Go ahead and try the rest of the independent practice on your own. Just use your calculator in any way possible to support you. For this one, you can do this using a calculator. You'll do 2 caret 3. This one you know how to do. You just do the square root, open parentheses, 78, close parentheses. This one, start by dividing 1 by 4, and then add the 8 in the ones place, and then order them all. Good luck.